Hello everyone! It is the final video of 2022, and I thought for the final video it was best to do a full year recap just to kind of refresh ourselves on what exactly happened and came out during the year that was 2022. And I feel like this is going to be a good footnote for a lot of people later on, because what I'm seeing on Twitter is people going like, trying to come up with a top 10 of the year list, and I can't remember what was this year and what was last year. So let's do this. Let's do like this little touchstone video where you can kind of go, oh, this is everything that happened this year. All right, cool, awesome. So the year begins with the fact that the brand new line for us collectors was Legacy. And Legacy, I think, with only a little bit to go, I think Legacy is pretty much done and we're waiting for Evolution now. I really think it did a really good job of not only like reintroducing some characters, especially a few of the ones we'll talk about later on, but just producing overall good toys that didn't really have to rely on anything gimmicky. Now, I do kind of wish they played a little bit more with the whole universe idea. In year one, we mostly got G1 and then a few Prime characters and a few leftover Beast Wars. So I kind of hope that in Evolution and then whatever the third part of the Legacy trilogy is, we're going to dance around the universe a lot more. And it does look like we're going to do that because we know we've got Animated on the way. We've got potentially Cybertron on the way some more. So I think we got a really good toy line in 2022. And a real one that I thoroughly enjoyed and got quite a bit from. So hopefully it is a sign to come. Like if the rest of the trilogy remains this consistent, yeah, I could absolutely, I could see myself still being into this for quite a while. Throughout Transformers, though, we had a few other lines making their debuts that were worth mentioning. This was the year that Masterpiece finally started in on combiners. And now, here's the thing. I have been critical about Masterpiece G, Gatai, Giant, whichever one you want the G to stand for. I've been critical because the first project is Raiden, and, you know, I understand why. I do. I have been critical because Takara has been very slow to let us know what the final product is going to be like, which I think is important when you're talking about a figure set that's going to be over $1,000 by the time it's all out. That said, it is a commendable line, you know, to go in on combiners for Transformer Masterpiece, and to go with something on the more obscure side like Raiden is a bit of a gamble, and I can appreciate Takara taking a gamble on that. Now, gamble, yes, because it's not the Constructicons. I feel like if they wanted like a surefire success to this, they would do Masterpiece Constructicons first. However, to do it with train bots does mean that they're hedging their bet a little bit, because Japan has such a strong train culture. You're going to have a lot of those collectors also buying this toy line rather than just rather than just Transformer fans. That's more the important distinction I got from all of this. So I do think that there are problems with it, but it was a bold choice, and I appreciate bold choice. You know, hopefully it all works out, not because I'm really excited about Raiden being complete, but because I'm looking forward to who else they do after this. If they do Masterpiece Constructicons, I might be on board for that. Let's see, Walmart, I guess, ran out of the Netflix line, but they still want their own exclusive line, so enter Velocitron. And out of all the exclusive lines we've gotten so far, I think I'm happiest with what Velocitron is doing. The repaints they're doing is actually filling in slots of existing characters, especially ones that haven't gotten toys in a long time, and it's interjecting the occasional brand new mold in there, some that we'll talk about here in a minute. So it's providing the obscurity and the repaints, the obvious repaints that you would expect from like buzzworthy Bumblebee, but I like how it's doing it a little bit better, and I like how it's presenting better, not only because I'm a Cybertron fan, so seeing like Velocitron, Speedia, and seeing like the old Cyber Key design on the box, you know, that's already cool. But I also think they present a lot better than your modern figures in their robot mode open packaging. You know, I like the look in the vehicle mode. I like seeing the vehicle mode better. You know what else is nice about the open packaging in vehicle mode, the head is going to still be attached when I buy the toy. Kind of an important detail for me. But yeah, I've really liked Velocitron. And Wave 2 already looked good. We already know there's some rumblings of a Wave 3. I'd like to see this continue because it's been doing some really interesting things. Meanwhile, this year, Amazon got its own exclusive line as well with the Wreckers. Now, it's a pretty like consistent line itself. You're getting a lot of the familiars for Wreckers, but not necessarily in familiar color schemes. You get a Springer that is more toy accurate rather than a clean version of the Siege figure. You are getting, some fossilizer repaints, which, okay, I guess a fossilizer kind of fits in with at least the overall theme of the Wreckers. They feel like they deserve to be there. The interesting one was Twin Twist, who was done in Diaclone colors, but for whatever reason, Top Spin was not part of this. And when Hasbro's whole edict with Transformers these days is, we're going to complete the teams, we're going to complete sets of characters, it is very confusing that only Twin Twist came out in his Diaclone colors. I was really looking forward to Top Spin. I think Top Spin looks really cool in his Diaclone colors, both Diaclone colors, now that I think of it. And that was one of my toys of the year when it first came out. So, I would love for them to go back and visit that again. I'm hoping they do, because it does seem like a really weird omission. But we haven't heard anything of Wreckers in a while, so we might have to wait for another random toy line to get it, if it ever happens. 2022 is the year to celebrate the female Transformers of the universe. We have moved beyond Power of the Primes, where every girl got represented by the same exact mold, and we are getting beyond the female molds just being, kind of throwaway or just not nearly as good in quality. If we go over this year, 3 different RCs got toys. The original G1 in the 86 release, Prime RC, and Bumblebee movie RC all have new figures. Elita 1, Burnout, Nightbird, Override, Flame War, Minerva, Crasher, Twitch. Oh, and by the way, we turned Road Rocket into a girl this year too. That's a lot of female bots, and there's actually quite a few of those that are completely new molds. And Elita 1 is getting an even bigger push with her role in Earthspark, so that is going to continue as well. If you're in some parts of the world, you've already got brand new Elita 1 toys out of Earthspark already. Still waiting for it here. But I do think it is a really cool thing that we've had so many females on the toy shelves this year, and it seems like it's gone really well. A lot of these were well received. I really like the Elita 1. Of course, Minerva is driving everyone crazy with how they're trying to get a hold of it. It was wonderful to see Crasher promoted to being a Transformer. Override is a surprisingly good toy. I know, I thought it was a fantastic year for females, and I hope that is a trend that continues. I'm really expecting big things from female Transformers in 2023. So I hope I'm not eating crow on that later on. This was the year that the unthinkable happened. The thing fans have been asking for since forever finally occurred. We have Transformers as G.I. Joe vehicles. The 2 biggest brands Hasbro ever created finally have actual crossover toys. Not like, oh, well, this G.I. Joe figure we repainted into Marissa Fairborn, and we're giving her this bike that we're going to call Afterburner. Okay, fine. I guess that counts. Oh, G.I. Joe. Oh, it's a G.I. Joe jet done up as Starscream with Cobra Commander driving it. Okay. It's a Chris Latta pack, but it's still not what we asked for. This is what we asked for. Again, this is something I have been critical of this year. I feel like it could have been done a little bit better, but if you're trying to split the difference between what a Transformer fan wants and what a G.I. Joe fan wants, that is pretty much the direction they had to go in, even if I personally wouldn't have gone in that direction. That's just my personal preferences. And quality of the figures, I do feel like could have been better. It doesn't feel like they had the same love and care put into them as, say, some of the legacy toys. But I do appreciate that it happened. Hasbro themselves have been trying to figure it out since the 90s. So the fact that we finally got it actually working, all right, fair play. I mean, I've got them both. As critical as I was of them for all year, I'm still goofing with them. So I guess they did something right. And I'm hoping it continues. We have rumblings of the next one, and I'm kind of hoping that like they just improve from here, because there is still a ton of potential to create to this crossover. This was the last year of IDW producing the Transformers comic books. They wrapped up a lot of their ongoing storylines with War's End in a really weird spot, because technically in that universe the Decepticons kind of won, strangely enough. But the last full stories they managed to get out, the last ones to know IDW for, were Last Bot Standing, which was a little bit too depressing for me. There's some depictions in there I really wasn't a fan of. And then there's Shattered Glass, which again, I was a little bit critical of. I prefer like the way old Shattered Glass did things. But you know what? I think for what it was, I think there's also some interesting things going on in that book too. So, I'm glad they got a chance to tell, just like, even if they were just short stories, I'm glad they got the chance to put just a few more stories out there before everything went away. Whether or not you liked them or not, personal opinion, personal preference. But it was nice to see that they at least got a few more out there before the end. 2022 saw 2 brand new Transformer cartoons debut. The first being the BotBots, which essentially is replacing Rescue Bots as Transformers media for the younger audience. And I'll be honest, as of this recording, I still haven't made it through the full season. It's one of those kind of shows where I have to take it in bits and pieces. I can't handle it the whole way through. What I have seen of it has been enjoyable. It's been a very different flavor. And it's interesting to see, like, really weird takes on Transformers from time to time. This is a really weird take. All right. These little Shopkins looking microbot things overrunning a mall, driving the security guard crazy. It's fun. I won't lie. It's a fun series. It's not one I can handle in long terms, but I'll make my way through it eventually. Eventually I'll probably make a video about it once I finally get through the whole thing. But I do like to see that the BotBots, for what they were, kind of trying to take in that Shopkins vibe and take their popularity and try and like play off of it to make little oddball Transformers, has always been really fun. And we're preparing for like a full return of BotBots next year. I want to say the new ones are supposed to be out, at least in some fashion. I haven't seen any in stores, and I haven't ordered any online, so if they are already available, I haven't seen it, and I haven't partaken yet. But it is nice to see them doing multiple things with animation. And of course, this was also the year that Earthspark debuted. Now, this one I have made it through all the episodes available right now, and I do think it is a really, really solid cartoon with a lot of new good ideas and some really cool characters that I'm really eager to see more of. 10's a kind of a rough number to get and then just sit and wait. Okay, now I gotta wait for who knows how many months to get the rest of it. I just went through this with Sonic Prime too. Like 8 episodes I actually liked, and now I'm just like, all right, where's the rest of it? There's like 16 more episodes, right? Where are they? I hate getting these partial season things. But the show itself is really, really good. And I'm really looking forward to see where they go with it, because it's doing some new things. And that's what I desperately need in Transformers fiction, is new things. This is also the year we finally get to hype the next live-action movie. Rise of the Beast, after so many different delays, we finally get to actually talk about it. We actually get to see material from it. We get to see Optimus Primal transforming during a football game on national television. Never thought I would get to see a Beast Wars character interrupting a football game, but that is the reality we live in now. I still have trepidation about this movie, because we're going back to the big budget blockbuster style that I think people just kind of got bored of and exhausted by. But we will see how it turns out. I mean, just like any of the Transformer movies, I'm perfectly willing to give it a chance. Who knows? Might turn out really, really great. We have to see. Let's move into the noteworthy toys of the year. We'll finish it off with just like a montage of just like all the toys that kind of caused some kind of buzz this year. And it does start with Cosmos, the toy everyone lost their minds trying to get. I've never seen like social media networking of people trying to find and send off Cosmoses to other people. I had to do that too. I never saw Cosmos in person. But like Hasbro, in their infinite wisdom, decided to like short pack this one of all toys because it's a brand new mold and it's a character that a lot of fans like. Now keep in mind, we fans are still a very minor amount of the collectors and the buyers out there. The vast majority are still children, and a little tiny like 50s style UFO they probably didn't expect kids to want to buy. But the collector demand on it was so huge that, and of course, scalpers. But, you know, the toy actually did become super hard to get and super sought after. And guess what? It's worth hunting down. It's a really good, clever toy. I'm still hopeful that there will be a second wave of that. We know there's more Velocitron on the way. So hopefully he makes his way into a case assortment somewhere. Because people definitely deserve to be able to get a hold of that without losing, you know, a whole week's worth of income. The Pretenders finally got new toys after mostly just Bludgeon or those tiny little Prime Masters that really weren't the Pretenders, but we had to ironically pretend they were. We finally have some new ones. Bomb Burst, Iguanus, and yes, Skull Grin as well, all getting new toys, and we know a Bludgeon's on the way too. Again, I feel like I say this about like half the entries. Like, I've been critical. I'm like, no. Let's keep it positive here. I do like what they're doing. You know, especially with the core class. I really like Bomb Burst and Iguanus. They work for me way better than I thought they would, especially Bomb Burst. He's kind of magical the way that it's such a simple toy, but he turns from something that looks exactly like the shell to something that looks like the inner vehicle mode. That's cool. That's really cool. I kind of wish they all worked that way. But it's cool that they're actually getting a chance because it's one of those long forgotten, like, how do we handle this character kind of toy. So I'm glad they're actually doing something with them. After over 25 years, I thought it was really cool to actually see Tigertron finally get the color scheme he was intended to have. I love when they do stuff like this, when they pull things like from the obscurity of the past and make a big deal over it. I really like Mutant Tigertron as a toy. And shockingly enough, keep this in mind, we never got a tiger in its natural colors as a Transformer before this. As the white tiger is Tigertron. We had Rampage, who was supposed to be a tiger with no stripes and a lot of black in his... Well, not really black, but like not tiger colors. Let's say that. We had a Minicon in Classics that was a tiger, kind of didn't really look like one. So it was cool. It was cool. I was happy they actually went for this, especially giving it the mutant head to make it look like the box art. Another really cool step I thought to take. Speaking of, Night Prowler came out too. This is another one of those like super lost characters that I thought was really cool. Hasbro found a way of actually releasing. In one of those really stupid, like weird exclusive waves, like here's a Kingdom wave only Walmart got for whatever reason. I thought it was cool. Between him and Skywasp, we have 2 of the 4 from the Halloween Horror Con packs that were originally intended for Universe 1.0 in the mid-2000s. Unfortunately, we're probably never going to see another mutant to get Leatherhide, and they don't seem to be interested in doing the Black Arachnia from that set. So I guess we're just going to be left with that duo. So that's one team that I don't think they can technically complete. But hey, they got this far at least. They got Ironhide right! Aside from missing a yellow stripe in the vehicle mode, and maybe a few tolerance issues, because mine had some tolerance issues that I heard was kind of common. Bottom line, they finally got an Ironhide that actually did what Ironhide's supposed to do. Boxy van turns into boxy robot. He's not a pickup truck. He doesn't have a big shell that comes off and makes a shield or a sled or anything weird. It's just an Ironhide that turns into a van. That's all we wanted. It took us this long to get. You imagine, you're a year one character. You're in every episode of the first season of the cartoon. You're one of the ones who gets to talk the most. You've had episodes devoted to you. You can't get a good figure until over 35 years have passed. That's absurd to me, and that is the life we live with Ironhide. We finally get a Delta Magnus. So, admittedly, I'm not terribly interested in Diaclone, but I've always loved the color scheme on Delta Magnus, and to see so many of these Ultra Magnuses over the years come out and never adopt this color scheme has hurt me, and it has been a struggle. Not technically a shattered glass Ultra Magnus, but it comes with the right head, and you can to swap it in. So for me, it's my Delta Magnus, and it was nice to finally get one after all this time. We do have an Ultra Magnus in the rumor mill, so we might even get a second round of Delta if I'm lucky. But who knows? And then to wrap it all off, I think the biggest thing about the toys in 2022 is the fact that we finally wrapped up the Beast Wars Year 1 set. Tarantulas and Inferno got left out of Kingdom due to time and budgetary constraints, whatever. They just didn't have room for them, so they got delayed. But the delay was worth it, as I feel like out of all of the updated Beast Wars cast, they're two of the best ones. Both are fantastic toys to cap off the Season 1 Beast Wars cast, and it was a beautiful thing to see. So yeah, it's great that entire primary cast now has completely updated figures. Took them long enough, and now we sit and wait for beyond that. We do know that a Voyager-class Silverbolt is in a listing somewhere. We know a Tigerhawk is in the listing somewhere, and if that's happening, then you know that things like Quick Strike are probably going to be right around the corner, and then we get to figure out what to do with all the Transmetal designs, because Hasbro doesn't want to do chrome. I don't think fans want them to do chrome. Metallic paint, please. But it is exciting for Beast Wars fans, and I do think it's a cool accomplishment for 2022 to finally finish off that cast. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your basic rundown of 2022. Now, of course, Transformers stuff happens literally every week. I have a series every Monday devoted to it. So this is just a sampling. This is just like a cursory glance of what has been going on this year in Transformers, but it's most of the major stuff and what I felt were some really good milestones and things to remember the year for. So, thank you everyone for watching. And thank you for watching me all year. This is my first calendar year of daily uploads I have ever done, and I never thought I'd be capable of that. And it's you guys supporting the channel, whether it's on Patreon, hitting like and subscribe, or just sharing my posts around your socials. All of that keeps me doing this, and I appreciate and I love all of you for it. So I have no intention of stopping at this point. So, thank you guys for watching. I will see you in 2023 with daily video number 467. Yes, we're going to hit 500 apparently. I will see you then. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.